During a distant era, there existed a youthful man who resided in a diminutive hamlet nestled at the base of a mountain. This youthful individual was renowned throughout the hamlet for his indolence. His days were spent reclining in the shadow of a tree, nodding off and indulging in reveries while the remaining villagers toiled in the fields and workshops. One day, an astute elderly monk arrived in the hamlet and summoned the young man to his side. "My child," uttered the monk, "I have a mission for you. I desire for you to ascend to the pinnacle of that mountain and retrieve a lone plume from its loftiest peak." The young man cast a derisive glance at the mountain and retorted, "That's unattainable," he asserted. "Moreover, I am far from possessing the vitality to scale all the way up there." The monk grinned and conveyed, "The plume I seek is not situated on the mountain itself. It lies on the opposite side of the mountain, concealed within a cavern accessible solely by ascending to the summit and descending on the opposing face." The young man was captivated, as he had never encountered such a notion. The plume and the notion of an unparalleled task roused his inquisitiveness, prompting him to accept the monk's challenge. The ascent was protracted and grueling, and soon the young man found himself breathless and drenched in perspiration. However, as he ascended to greater altitudes, a sentiment of elation and exhilaration began to seize him, a sensation hitherto unfamiliar. When he eventually reached the zenith, he was enervated yet filled with rapture. He surveyed the awe-inspiring vista before him and experienced a sense of triumph hitherto unknown. Yet the veritable trial lay ahead. The young man had to descend on the opposite side of the mountain and locate the purportedly situated cave containing the plume. The descent was even more treacherous than the ascent, and the young man stumbled and plummeted on numerous occasions. Nevertheless, he persisted, impelled by the assurance of the plume that awaited him. Ultimately, upon reaching the cavern, he chanced upon the plume resting there, a gleam beneath the luminescence filtering through the entrance. He retrieved it and admired its beauty. Subsequently, he grasped his predicament. How would he ascend to the mountain's pinnacle again and deliver the plume to the monk? For an instant, the young man pondered relinquishing his endeavor, yet he then recollected the sentiment of fulfillment derived from his duty and the pride experienced upon reaching the summit. He was cognizant of his possession of the fortitude and resolved to replicate the feat. And thus, he recommenced his ascent of the mountain, his sinews throbbing and his lungs aflame. He refused to yield. He impelled himself onward, spurred by the cognizance of surmounting his own sloth and accomplishing something undeniably remarkable. Upon finally returning to the hamlet and presenting the plume to the monk beamed and remarked, "Admirable, my child. You have gleaned an invaluable lesson today. Idleness is not to be sanctioned or tolerated. It is a challenge to be surmounted, an impediment to be surpassed." The young man concurred, comprehending the sagacity of the monk's utterances. He realized that he had always possessed the potential for grand exploits, yet his indolence had held him in check. Now enlightened, he was aware of his possession of the resilience and tenacity required to conquer any obstacles crossing his path. The lesson from the monk's challenge was that idleness should not be sanctioned or indulged, but rather faced as an impediment to be vanquished. By pushing ourselves and delineating ambitious objectives, even when they appear formidable, we can transcend our limitations and endure in the face of adversities and hindrances. Additionally, we must inculcate discipline and regularity into our quotidian habits and routines, erecting a timetable and adhering to it. In this manner, we can cultivate salutary habits that facilitate maintaining focus and productivity. Even in moments of disinclination, it is crucial to discern that triumphing over idleness entails fostering a mindset of growth. This involves envisaging challenges and defeats as prospects for augmentation and enlightenment, rather than as grounds for surrender. Through adopting a growth-oriented mindset, we can reframe our perspective on failure and employ it as a catalyst for enhancement and advancement. Ultimately, prevailing over indolence necessitates the readiness to step beyond our comfort zone and embrace the challenges and opportunities lying ahead. Want to live with more wisdom and purpose? Discover the secrets of Buddhist monks in the ebook The Wealth Through the Eyes of Buddhist Monks. Click on the pinned comment and start your journey of transformation.